problems that occurred during this time for African Americans was that they were segregated. Not only were they segregated from Major League Baseball and other sports, but throughout the whole United States. African Americans were segregated from many things during this time, such as where they ate, where they went to school, where they sat at sporting events, restrooms that they used, and even drinking fountains, to name a few things. As Lumpkin et al. 2012 reported, that firmly entrenched in position of power, not most white males accepted and acted upon the belief that non-whites were physically and intellectually inferior and undeserving of equitable treatment. So therefore, in this time, African Americans were not seen as capable of playing professional sports such as Major League Baseball with white athletes, because they were socially and intellectually more inferior to these light-skinned white people. It wasn't until Jackie Robinson crossed the color line and broke it that African Americans were allowed to begin playing Major League Baseball. But even after that, there were still some unwritten rules to Major League teams that was called the 50% color line, which did not allow teams to possess more than 4 black players on a team. It also mentions that this color line ensured that the continued majority presence of and dominance of whites in America's pastime, and to have 5 black players playing with 4 white players on the field threatened their old order. So now, with the current literature and issues during now, is even though segregation is over, the issue is that racism still exists. It continues to exist, and it's more of a covert and difficult to identify. Also, as reported by Lapchick, is that surveys show that majority of whites still believe that most African Americans are less intelligent and more likely to use drugs and be violent, and more inclined to be violent against women. In today's world, professional sports lacks representation of minorities in positions, in particular managerial, coaching, and front office positions. Minorities are being accepted in these positions still struggle because of the perception that owners and higher executives might have of them not being able to deal with work that comes with the position. Even though these owners and higher executives of these sports teams are not coming out in the open with racial comments about minorities of not being accepted into these positions, they are still discriminating minorities.